vanachari. Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Gaur Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 27, entitled Understanding Material Nature, text number 24. Bhukta Bhoga Parityakta Drishta Dosha Cha Nityasha Neshwarya Shubham Datte Sve Mahimni Stitasya Cha. मुक्तभोगा परित्यक्ता दृष्टदोषा च नित्यशः नैश्वर्यस्य शुभं दत्ते स्वे महिम्नि स्थितस्य च भुक्तभोगा परित्यक्ता दृष्टदोषा च नित्यशः नैश्वरस्य शुभं दत्ते स्वे महिम्नि स्थितस्य च. Somebody can recite. Vaishnavis. Word to word meaning. Bhukta, enjoyed. Bhoga, enjoyment. Parityakta, giving up. Drishtva, discover. Dosha, faultiness. Cha, and. Nityasha, always. Na, not. Ishwarasya, of the independent. Ashubham, harm. Dhatte, she inflicts. Sve mahimni, in his own glory. Sthitasya, situated. Cha, and. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. By discovering the faultiness of his desiring to lord it over material nature, and by therefore giving it up, the living entity becomes independent and stands in his own glory. Purport. Because the living entity is not actually the enjoyer of the material resources, his attempt to lord it over material nature is at the ultimate issue frustrated. As a result of frustration, he desires more power than the ordinary living entity and thus wants to merge into the existence of the supreme enjoyer. In this way, he develops a plan for greater enjoyment. When one is actually situated in devotional service, that is his independent position. Less intelligent men cannot understand the position of the eternal servant of the Lord. Because the word servant is used, they become confused. They cannot understand that this servitude is not the servitude of this material world. To be the servant of the Lord is the greatest position. If one can understand this and can thus revive one's original nature of eternal servitorship of the Lord, one stands fully independent. A living entity's independence is lost by material contact. In the spiritual field, he has full independence, and therefore there is no question of becoming dependent upon the three modes of material nature. This position is attained by a devotee, and therefore he gives up the tendency for material enjoyment after seeing its faultiness. The difference between a devotee and an impersonalist is that an impersonalist tries to become one with the Supreme so that he can enjoy without impediment, whereas a devotee gives up the entire mentality of enjoying and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. That is his constitutional glorified position. At that time, he is Ishvara, fully independent. The real Ishvara or Ishvara Parama, the supreme Ishvara or supreme independent, is Krishna. The living entity is Ishvara. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm feeling extremely honored and happy to be here in ISKCON Brooklyn, New York, the New York where everything began, the birthplace of ISKCON. And also, I'm extremely honored to get some opportunity to serve, though I have no qualifications. So I seek blessings of all assembled devotees so that I can speak something for my own purification. Also, I'd like to thank all of you to make a priority to come and come for morning program and especially to come hear Srimad Bhagavatam class. Srila Prabhupada established this culture of Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. When he came from India, he brought Bhagavatam. And he had that faith and conviction that if people of this world can hear this message of Bhagavatam, he had that deep faith that if this message of Bhagavatam enters the hearts and then through the years, that can create spiritual revolutions within the hearts of people and then all over the world. We see that was also the purpose why Srila Vyasadev wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam. Anarthopasham sakshat bhakti yogam adakshije. Lokasya ajananto vidvams chakre satvat samhita. Lokasya ajananto. People of this world don't know how to get rid of all the miseries of life and how to become happy. People think just by working hard, mm, just by accumulating lots of wealth, just by getting big positions in this world, just by getting some name and prestige in this world, just by cultivating some mundane relationships, people think they will be happy. Lokasya ajananto, they don't know secret of happiness. Therefore, so Vyasdev's, it is said that because people don't know the secret of happiness, they have many misunderstanding of happiness. Therefore, he has compiled Chakre Satvat Samhita. He has compiled this Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this Srimad Bhagavatam, he has revealed the secret of happiness. Anarthopashamam sakshat bhakti yoga adakshije. All the we are suffering this world not because of some financial problem, not because of some uh, external, some material problems. Whereas they explains that we are suffering because of anarthas within our heart, some impurities in our heart. And all those impurities, no matter whatever material arrangement we may make, it's difficult to remove. However, it is said, anarthopasham sakshat bhakti yogam adakshita. But all that is troublesome in heart can be removed simply by bhakti yogam adokshije, just by performing devotional service to adokshije, Supreme Lord who is beyond this. And especially bhakti yoga, beginning with Shravanam and Kirtanam. Yasavai Shuyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpatete Pumsam Shokamoha Bhayabha. In this world, everybody is tormented by lamentation of the past. They are bewildered by the illusions in the present and they are having fear of the future. But just by hearing this message of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Bhaktit Utpade Pumsa. These devotional feelings, love for Lord can be awakened and Shoka Moha Bhayafa. And one can be free from all shoka, lamentation of the past. No matter whatever we have done in the past, we may have done many blunders in life, but uh, one can be free from all that lamentation. One may be bewildered in present because of many changing situations in the world, but one can free from all those illusions. And one may have a lot of uncertainties and a lot of fears about the future. One can free from all those fears simply Yasavai Shuyamanayam Krishna Paramara, just by hearing about message of Krishna as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So one should know when we are sitting down for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we are investing in the most important duty of our life, most important activity. Mm, Activity of purifying our heart and becoming peaceful and happy. So I'd like to congratulate all of you for coming down here and sitting for the class. This is a great achievement. Every day, if you can hear, it's really great success of life. So today we are hearing from Supreme Lord Kapil Dev. What a great fortune! In this world, everybody wants to know about God, hear about from God, see God. And here in Bhagavatam, actually, we are directly able to hear from Supreme Lord. Lord who is perfect, Lord who is complete. In this world, people are bewildered by so much imperfections and incompleteness. Uh, but here is opportunity to hear from perfect and complete Lord. And here in today's verse, that complete and perfect Lord who has appeared in form of Kapila Dev. He's speaking to his mother Devuti. Bhukta bhoga parityakta, drishta dosha cha nityasha, Neshwarasya Shubham Datte Swe Mhamni Stitasya Cha. He's telling that by discovering the faultiness of his desiring to lord it over material nature, and by therefore giving it up, the living entity becomes independent and stands in his own glory. We say everybody wants to become independent and they want to stand in their own glory. We see in 1922, when A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, that time he was Abhay Charan, Abhay Day. He was somehow or other pulled by his friend Naren to meet a great saintly person, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. So that time Abhay was not interested in meeting Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, but somehow when his friend pushed him, he finally went to one Ultadanga Junction Road, and he had great good fortune of meeting Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. And in his first meeting, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur told Abhay that you are a young man, you are educated. Why don't you take this message of Lord Krishna, message of Lord Chaitanya, and present it in English language in the Western world? This will do good to you, and this will do good to whole world. That time, 1922, India was under British subjugation. So immediately, Abhay challenged Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. He said, Swamiji, you are telling that we should spread the message of Gita, Bhagavatam, message of Krishna, message of Lord Chaitanya in English language to Western world, but who's going to listen? First, we should have independence. First, we should drive away these Britishers and get our glory back. And when we are situated in our own glory, then we can go around the world presenting the message of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said no. Even if we get political independence, no matter of economic arrangement, political arrangement, social arrangement, all these things are not going to make us really independent. And they are not going to situate us in our own glory. Not only Indians are not independent, even Britishers, Americans, or all the people of this world are actually bound and they have become dependent. They have become trapped in material illusion. Though people are thinking they're, but where is dependence? Everybody is bound by Kala factor, time. Nobody wants to become old, but they are forced to become old. Nobody wants to die, they are forced to die. So where is independence? Everybody is bound by Kala, time factor. Everybody is bound by karma. For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Every thought, every word, and every action binds living entities in this material world. So nobody can ordinarily transcend karma. Nobody can become free from karma ordinarily. So everybody by material activity just gets bound and bound. Body and mind suffering because of other living entities and suffering because of natural calamities. So where is independence? Bhaktivedanta Thakur explained to Abhay that real independence one can get when we realize our spiritual position. When we realize I'm not this body, I'm spiritual being, Atma. I'm Mame Vamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanata. I'm part and parcel of Supreme Lord, an eternal servant of Lord. Jiver Surboy, Krishna and Nityanas. And one is situated in that position of being a servant of Supreme Lord. One can also get the qualities like Lord. Supreme Lord is supremely independent. And by becoming servant of supremely independent Lord, one can also get independence. One can become free from kala factor, time. One can become free from karma. One can become free from gunas. One can become free from all miseries. So one can become free from all bondages just by becoming servant of Supreme Lord. So in today's verse also, same thing Kapil Dev is telling Mother Devati. Just by being servant of Supreme Lord and just by giving up false mentality to lord over material nature, one can become fully independent and be situated in his own glory. We think that by controlling material nature, we'll become independent. But more we try to control material nature, more we become servant of material nature. Maya is very powerful. One time, one person, he was climbing up the hill, and because climbing was very tough, so he was thinking how wonderful it would be if I can get horse. I can just climb the horse and then very happily go up. So he was praying to God, my dear God, please give me one ghodi, please give me one she horse. And then he got the she horse. And he thought, oh, so nice. Now I'll solve all problems of my life and all the miseries of my life. This climbing mountain, climbing this hill was so terrible. Now I got this wonderful she horse. So he jumped on the she horse and then started going up. And when he was going up, after traveling for some time, the she horse stopped. And he's wondering what happened. And then he got down. And then she horse delivered the baby. And he was wondering. And then he wanted to go up. But she horse was not ready to go up because she was very attached to that baby. And she was just sucking the baby, caressing the baby and all this. And he was just thinking, oh, I wanted to go up. But now the big problem, the she horse is not ready to go up. How will I go up? But he thought maybe I have to use my intelligence and somehow or other I have to take this she horse and make her go up. And he was just thinking and thinking some idea by which he can make she horse go up. And then he came with idea. He saw, oh, this she horse is not able to go up. Why? Because she is attached to that baby horse. He said, if I carry baby horse up, she horse will also follow. So immediately what he did, he just lifted the baby horse, put on her on his shoulders, and started walking. And he saw behind that she horse was following him. And he said, just see how intelligent I am. This she horse didn't want to climb up, but now I have made her climb. Just see how great I am. Is he really great? He's such a foolish guy. Earlier he was climbing alone. And he was thinking that it's very painful, so he got a she horse, but now he's having a baby of she horse and he's climbing with the baby and he's thinking, I am so intelligent. So this is the progress of this material world. People in the material people, oh, they are coming with innovative ideas and uh, they are really able to control matter and manipulate matter, and they are progressing. But actually, they are becoming servant of matter. They are become captivated by matter. Now we see nowadays people, it's very difficult to live with without mobile, without internet, without, people have become servant of this technology. In the beginning, we may try to manipulate matter, so that, hoping that we'll engage this matter and technology in our service. But Maya is so powerful that more we try to control matter, more we become servant of Maya. So we see when we come to this material world, a living it is covered by five layers of ignorance. First layer of ignorance is tamas. Tamas, because of that layer of ignorance, living forgets his own glorious position. He forgets, I am spiritual entity, Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge, full of happiness. He forgets I am part and parcel of Supreme Lord, eternal servant of the Lord. So, because of first layer of ignorance, one forgets one's real identity. Then one is covered by second layer of ignorance, that is called as moha, illusion. Uh, what is second layer of ignorance? One start thinking, I am this body. One start identifying with body. He start thinking, oh, I'm man, I'm woman, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm Hindu, I'm Christian, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm black, I'm white. So one start identifying with this body, which we are not. This is called as moha, illusion. Then one gets covered by third layer of ignorance. That is called as maha moha. Great illusion. And what is that maha moha? Everybody start thinking, I am the proprietor. Oh, this body belongs to me. Hmm. This wife, this husband belongs to me. These children belong to me. These parents belong to me. This house belongs to me. This property belongs to me. This country belongs to me. This whole world belongs to me. So one develops false proprietorship mentality. And when we start falsely thinking I am the proprietor, then we get another false understanding. Then we start thinking, if I am the proprietor, I can control. This wife, husband, children, property, country, everything is mine, so let me try to control them for my own enjoyment. So one falsely start thinking I am controller. And why he tries to control? So that he can enjoy. So one tries to become false enjoyer. But reality is that we are not proprietors, we are not controllers, we are not enjoyers. Reality is Isha Vasam Idam Sarvam. Everything belongs to God. Krishna is supreme proprietor. Krishna is supreme controller. And Krishna is supreme enjoyer. But because of Mahamo, we start thinking, I am proprietor, I am controller, I am enjoyer. And we try to control, manipulate matter and other living entities. And we become more implicated by that. So, fourth layer of ignorance is whenever one try to think oneself to be proprietor, controller, and enjoyer, and he makes plans to enjoy, those plans get defeated, those plans get frustrated. And when one's plan for enjoyment is frustrated, one becomes extremely angry. So, anger arising out of frustration of our plans to enjoy, that is called as fourth layer of ignorance, tamishra. So one plan for enjoyment gets frustrated, he makes another plan to enjoy. That plan gets frustrated, he makes third plan to enjoy. That plan gets frustrated, he makes fourth plan. When every plan gets frustrated, he makes more and more plans. And whatever plans one make in this material world, every plan to enjoy is frustrated without any exception. And when plans to enjoy are frustrated, one develops so much insecurity. One starts developing great fear, and he start feeling survival, uh, existence of his survival is comes in his question. And especially he start becoming fearful of death. So that is called as andata mishra. Actually soul has no death. Soul is eternal, full of knowledge, full of happiness. But because of being covered by this layers of ignorance, one start becoming fearful that maybe I will die and I will lose everything. And we see, no matter how much one goes to school, college, and university, one cannot be free from this ignorance. Rather, when goes to school, college, universities, these layers of ignorance become thicker. Vedic injunction says, Tamsoma Jyotirgamay. Don't remain in darkness, come to light. Don't remain in ignorance, become enlightened. If you want to be happy, understand root cause of all unhappiness is ignorance. So unless you dispel this ignorance, you can't be happy. So first Vedic aphorism is that Tamsoma Jyotirgamay. Don't remain ignorance, come to light. Don't remain in darkness, come to light. Don't remain ignorance, come become enlightened. Therefore, we see people go to school, college, universities so that they can become enlightened. But unfortunately, in this world, in name of knowledge, people are further bewildered and they become further confused. And these layers of tamas, moha, mahamoha, tamishrandav get more thicker. Unfortunately, people don't know what is knowledge, and they consider ignorance to be knowledge. And to propagate ignorance, people of this world are spending billions and trillions of dollars of money. And everybody is imagining that they are getting educated. But Vedic text said, no, this is not education. This is just increasing avidya. In Vedic text, everything is judged by the characteristics. For example, you have container, white container, some substance in a container which is white. If it is a salt, and you just put the label sugar, is it going to be sweet? Just label may be sugar, but inside is salt. If you put it in milk, it will become salty. It won't taste sweet. Just by changing label, you can't change the content within. Mm. Similarly, we see somebody may be sick, but if he just have medical certificate, I am healthy, and he says I am healthy, uh, does it make him healthy? If he's having fever, cough, cold, headache, stomach ache, body is paining, even if he says he is healthy, and even if he has certificate he is healthy, still it doesn't make him healthy because his symptoms, his characteristics are showing him sick. Similarly, even if you have, even if you say I am learned, I am educated, I am great scholar, pandit, I have got BTech, MTech, PhD, I have got Nobel Prize, I have got this, and whole world is glorifying me as a great learned person. Uh, and I have so many papers and certificates and degrees to prove that I am educated and learned and great pandit. But that doesn't make one a pandit. It's just a label. We have to check whether a person is actually learned or not based on characteristics. There are characteristics of darkness and there are characteristics of light. We say, imagine you are all imagine you are all alone in middle of night in deep dark forest. How will you feel? All alone in middle of night on no moon night, Amavasya night, deep dark forest where there are wild animals, dangerous creatures, and so many dangerous sounds are also coming. Cricket, cricket. So how will you feel there? Hmm? Feel, how will you feel? Huh? One will feel fearful, afraid. So, first characteristic of darkness is that it induces fear in the heart. And in darkness, you can't see things as they are. If branch of tree is moving and makes some sound because of wind blowing, psh, one may think it's snake, and one may become more fearful, isn't it? And in darkness, one cannot know the path ahead. He doesn't know to go straight, take left, go around. He just confused. So we see darkness induces fear. It leads to illusion and it leads to confusion. And one gets lost and one becomes terribly miserable, isn't it? And as soon as sun rises and there's light everywhere, as soon as light comes, what happens? Immediately fear reduces. Yes or no? As soon as light comes, we can see immediately things as they are. And we can know this is not a snake, it's just a branch of tree. And one can say, oh, there is a dead snake. Oh, here is a live snake. One can see things as they are, and illusion is gone. And one can see the path ahead. Oh, a road is, oh, I have to take left, I have to go straight, I have to take right, I have to take U-turn, and this how one knows the path ahead and one can move ahead very nicely. So we see that characteristic of a light is that it reduces fear, it removes illusion, and removes confusion, and one can become more peaceful, and there is hope of becoming happy. So we see in modern education system, people go to school, college, universities. First grade student and 10th grade student. Who's having more stress, tension, anxiety, fear? Hmm? Who's having? In New York, who has more stress, tension, anxiety? Hmm? First grade or 10th grade? 10th grade, isn't it? Uh, and then person studies further. 12th grade student, he is having more stress, tension, anxiety, fear, or 10th grade. 12th grade has. And imagine then somebody goes to very world renowned universities, MIT, Stanford, in India, IITs, all these big universities. Do those people have more stress, tension, anxiety, or those who go in ordinary schools and colleges? Hmm? Who has more stress, tension, anxiety? Those who go to big universities like IIT, MIT, Stanford, their lives are more stressful. I've been going to IITs for more than 20 years now. Practically every semester there is suicide. Huh? But in ordinary schools, colleges, we don't find that. Hmm? Why? Because in this big university, there's so much of stress, tension, anxiety. So we see the fear, stress, tension, anxiety is increasing. So darkness is increasing or light is increasing. Hmm? Darkness is increasing. So ignorance is increasing, not knowledge. So just by labeling it, oh, education, doesn't mean make education. Therefore, Vedas call this as avidya. Hmm? Avidya means to study matter, that also incompletely and imperfectly. Vidya, real knowledge means to study matter, spirit, like antimatter, and supreme spirit, God, the control of matter and spirit. So when we know all these three and their interrelation, that is the real knowledge. And when we understand that knowledge, then we can see our life becoming free from stress, tension, anxiety, misery. Hmm? So Vedas say, Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya. Don't become remain ignorance. Get real knowledge. And that's why Vyasadeva, incarnation of God, has given this scripture, Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad for enlightenment of whole world. These are not ordinary books written by some imperfect beings. Vyasadeva is incarnation God, completely perfect person. And knowledge given by him is perfect. And if we can dive deeply in this subject matter under guidance of qualified trained teachers, then we can see how one gets enlightened. And we can immediately see how our life becomes more better. Our life becomes, we will see that some stress, tension, anxiety, fear, insecurities, all these things, depression, all these things will slowly start evaporating. How many of you think after coming to Krishna consciousness, after studying Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavatam, fears in your life have reduced? Please raise hands. Mm. Your stress, tension, your fear has reduced or increased after coming to Krishna consciousness? How many of you think fear has reduced? Raise hands. Okay. And we see how many of you feel that you are becoming more peaceful after understanding and applying this. So we see this is knowledge. We have to test everything with characteristics, not with labels. Maybe all devotees who are staying in temple and or practicing Krishna consciousness in homes, and they may not have big titles and degrees. But we can see their characteristic that getting enlightened. Mm. They are getting actually happier. So, because this knowledge is not there, people are actually struggling. We see people are trying to understand matter, and falsely they're thinking, trying to control matter, and they're just getting implicated by matter. And they're thinking they're making progress. We say in Srimad Bhāgavatam story of Hiranyakashipu, he had so much control over matter. Practically, he could control sun just by his eyebrows. Immediate temperature would change. He didn't have to put this electrical heaters and geysers and all these things to change the temperature. He would just move the eyebrow and whole temperature would change. Move eyebrow and he could make even mangoes grow any season just by his. So he had control over all devtas. Can any scientist have that much control? But still, fact was, he was miserable because he had learned to control all matter and all devatas, but unfortunately, he had failed to control his own mind and senses, and therefore he was miserable. Because nobody can control mind and senses. Krishna is supreme controller. Only Krishna can control mind and senses. And when one surrenders to Krishna, then one can be free from control of mind and senses. Then one can become independent. And then we can be situated in real glory. So in today's verse, we see Kapil Dev is telling, just by accepting to be humble servant of God, we can be fully independent. And we can be situated in our full glory. And just by trying to manipulate matter and trying to control matter and trying to be so-called independent, we become more implicated and we become more miserable. We see in life of Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj was emperor of whole planet Earth. He was emperor of America, Russia, Australia, China, Africa, India, everywhere. His rule was supreme. He was young, powerful. He had beautiful wives, and his citizens loved him. He had no rival. He had all the facilities what any human being may aspire for. But still he was miserable. Why? Why he was miserable? Why he was miserable? Because he was in bodily concept of life. He was considering himself the body, and he was thinking, "Oh, I don't have son," and therefore he was saying, "What is use of my life if I don't have son?" He had everything of this world, and he had no just son, and he was so miserable. Nature of mind is that whatever we have, we take it for granted, and whatever we don't have, mind focuses on that and makes us miserable. Avanti Brahmana says uh, that actually one of the biggest cause of suffering in this world is this mind. Even if everything may be wonderful, the mind can make hell out of heaven. So his life was so glorious, but because he had no son, his mind was focusing on that, and his mind made him so miserable. When Angira Muni came to his kingdom, he was interested in giving him some spiritual knowledge. But this king was least interested in spiritual knowledge. He gave him nice reception, nice hospitality, but he was not ready to hear the message because he was already too much preoccupied by his desire to have a son. And he just told Angira Muni that, "My dear sir, I'm miserable because I don't have son. Please give me son. That's all." Angira Muni wanted to tell her his son, having son or no son is not cause of your misery. But still he was very adamant. So he said, "Okay, if you want son, okay, I'll do some sacrifice and you'll have a son." And he did sacrifice. Then from sacrifice came fruit. And he said, "Give to your wife, Kritaditi, you'll have son. And you name that son Harsha Shoka." Harsha means happiness, Shoka means misery. And he was thinking, "Oh, great, I'm going to have son. Definitely I'm going to be Harsha. I'm going to be joyful." But he was thinking, "Shoka, miserable. Maybe I will have only son, and maybe he will be little naughty, so maybe he will not be obedient, so there will be some shock misery. But he said it's better. It's better, like blind uncle is better than no uncle. Similarly, some son is better than no son. So anyway, he then gave that fruit to Kritaditi. Kritaditi got a son, and then he celebrated it in a very grand way, and he was happy, and citizens also celebrated it. But we see that because he started giving more attention to Kriti and that newly born son, and he neglected other co-wives, other wives of his, other wives became very insecure, and they made a plan. They thought, oh, this child, since it has come, king is neglecting us, so maybe we have to kill this child. And then they planned to poison the child, and child was died. And when child died, this queen Kritaditi became so miserable, and then Chitraketu became more miserable. He was earlier miserable because he had no son, but now he became even 10 times, 100 times more miserable when his son died. And that time Narad Muni and Angira came, and by power of Narad Muni, child was brought back to life. And then child spoke this transcendent knowledge, knowledge of soul, knowledge of God. And just by getting that knowledge, he became enlightened. And he was able to become free from all the misery. And all his wives who also heard that knowledge, knowledge of science of soul and God, they also gave up lamentation. And they also repented for wrong activities. And all of them then together started worshipping Supreme Lord. And just by their intense devotional service, uh, Chitraketu Maharaj and queens became self-realized, and they had wonderful darshan of Lord. Chitraketu Maharaj was able to have full darshan, and later on he was promoted. Not only he became emperor of earth, he also became emperor of higher planets. He became lord of the Gandharva lokas. So it's not that if we serve Lord and become devotee, we'll lose something. Actually, we'll materially and spiritually become benefited. So he got a bigger kingdom. Mm. And one time when he was flying in the sky, he was passing through Kailas, and he saw very amazing sight. He saw many sages and great sannyasis and people in renounced order life. They had come and they were hearing class on renunciation, vairagya, from Lord Shiva. And very amazing sight was Lord Shiva was having Parvati on his lap. And having Parvati on his lap, he was talking to all renunciates about Vairagya. And when Chitraketu Maharaj saw this sight, with great amazement and with great appreciation, he laughed. Only Lord Shiva can do, nobody else can do such a thing. How great Lord Shiva is. He can give class to all renunciates with his wife on his lap. And he just laughed. He had no ill intentions in heart, but he laughed. And when Parvati heard his laughing sound, Parvati became very upset and angry. She thought, how dare this Chitraketu offend my husband, Lord Shiva? What does he think? Mm, mm. Does he think greater than Shiva and Brahma and all other great persons who are assembled here? And he is making fun of my husband? Uh, she immediately cursed, may you die and become demon. So just see, here was Chitraketu Maharaj flying in the sky, singing glories of Lord, and then he just sighed, he just laughed. He had no intention, but then he got all of a sudden curse to die and become a demon. As soon as he got this curse, immediately he got down from his plane, came and offered obeisances at lotus feet of Parvati, and said, "My dear mother, I think you have misunderstood me. But anyway, everything happens by God's arrangement, Krishna's arrangement. So I accept your curse. Thank you very much for blessing me with this curse." And he very nice, appreciated, honored Parvati and Lord Shiva. He did not get upset and angry. And the way he dealt with so much humility, with so much tolerance, with so much respect, Lord Shiva was so pleased. And he told Mother Parvati that, my dear Mother Parvati, very beautiful and glorified in the whole world. But beauty of Chitraketu is million times more than your beauty. Chitraketu, by just accepting your curse, has become more beautiful in eyes of Supreme Lord. Hmm? So, just devotee, when he becomes self-realized and he depends on God, he becomes independent of all these curses and all material arrangements. His happiness and satisfaction of this world doesn't depend on external situations. And later on we see how he was born as demon. Externally he was born as demon. But he was not disturbed by that. And he was born to fight against Indra. And Indra prayed to Lord that, my dear Lord, please bless me, give some weapon to me by which I can kill this great demon Rutra. And then Lord said, okay, you go to Dadichi Muni and through his bones you make Vajra, and with that Vajra you kill Rutra. So he came being blessed by Supreme Lord Vishnu. He came with this very powerful empowered weapon, Vajra, and came to fight with Rutrasur. And when he saw Rutrasur, he was so gigantic. So immediately he took his club and sent with all force mm, on Rutrasur. And Rutrasur very easily, just with his left hand, caught that club. And with left hand, he just sent back the club. And it hit the Airavat, the carrier of Indra. And Airavat flew in the sky and fell many yards behind. And one side Airavat fell, another side Indra fell, and Indra also, his Vajra was that also failed. And just by one smash of that, no, Uttarasur, Indra lost all confidence. He realized this Uttarasur is like elephant, I am like mouse in front of him. There's no question of fighting, there is no match. He got very discouraged and morose. He didn't want to fight. So Rutrasur encouraged him. My dear Indra, why are you getting discouraged? Please stand up and fight. You send club, club cannot kill me. But Supreme Lord has given Vajra, that is mean to kill me. You use that Vajra, by that you can defeat me. And he said, in this world, nobody is guaranteed success, always, except Supreme Person Godhead. Living entities sometimes are victorious and sometimes are defeated. So one should never get puffed up in victory and one should never get morose in defeat. So don't get morose. Just stand up and take that Vajra and kill me. Uh, and if you can kill me, I can be freed from this bodily, uh, freed from this material body, and I can go to the kingdom of God and get eternal spiritual body and become happy. And you want kingdom of this world, you will get kingdom of world, and you can try to enjoy in this material world. So it will win-win. You want kingdom of this world, you can get it, and I want to go back home, back to God, and I will get it. So you just don't delay. Be enthusiastic and take this Vajra and kill me. Indra was surprised. Here is a demon, he is speaking. What a transcendental message. And Indra immediately got encouraged. He took his, he said, what a fool I am. I don't have faith in Lord Vishnu. And immediately he took Vajra with great faith and then hit Rutrasur and cut off his one hand, then another hand. And then Rutrasur just swallowed Indra. And Rutrasur thought, now Indra is finished. And then he started meditating on Supreme Lord. And he offered very nice prayers. So I'll just read those prayers because they are related with today's verse. How one can become supremely independent. And just 2 minutes I'll read and we'll conclude. He says, Aham hare tava padaikamulam dasanudas bhavitasmi bhuya manasmaretasu pater gunamste grinitama karma karoti kaya. O my Lord, O Supreme Person Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my words may always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in loving service of your Lordship. So he's saying, oh, when will that day come? I can become a servant of your servant, my dear Lord. Then he says, Nanakaprishtam na chaparameshtam na sarvabhaumyam na rasadipatyam na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. Oh my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka. I do not want heavenly planets or planet where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want the supreme planets or the lower planet systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor I desire liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. I just want to hold on to your lotus feet and serve your lotus feet. I don't want any material things of this world. And I don't mind being cursed and losing everything of this world. I just don't want to lose service at the lotus feet of your lordships. आजाद पक्ष इव मातरम खग स्तन्यम यथा वत्स तराशुदारता प्रियं प्रियेव विष्टम विशन्न मनो अरविंदाक्ष दिदीक्षित त्वाम. O my dear Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always long for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for opportunity to render direct service unto you. So we see Rudrasura is saying, my dear Lord, I am just hankering to achieve your ascension so that I can serve you. Like we see baby birds, they're just hankering when they will get to see mother bird. Or calf is always hankering when they will be able to meet mother cow. And wife whose husband is away, she's always hankering when I will again get association with my husband so that I can serve him. Hmm? Similarly, a devotee is always hankering when I will get association Lord so that I can serve my Lord and please him. So Rudrasura was saying, I'm just eagerly waiting for that opportunity. ममत्तमश्लोकजनेषु साख्यं संसारचक्रे भ्रमता स्वकर्मभिः त्वन्माययात्मजा दारगृहेश आसक्तचित्तस्य न ता भूयात्. Oh my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. So he's praying that, my dear Krishna, that please bless, I can be just attached to you. I can just be servant of your servant. And when we are in this position, actually we are supremely independent. Our happiness and peace and success of life doesn't depend on anything of this world. And one be situated in one's true glory. Just see, Chitraketu Maharaj was ignorant earlier, but when he became enlightened by mercy of Narada and Angira, he practiced devotional service. And later on, when he was cursed, when he had to die also, he was blissful. He was supremely independent. He could conquer death and he could situate himself in true glory. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhāgavatam ki jai, and Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Extremely sorry, I just delayed you a little bit, few minutes. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.